ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वति नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषये भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचानूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी। In the last two classes, we were discussing Anubandha Chatushtayam in great detail. We discussed Anubandha Chatushtayam in general and in particular with regard to Vedanta. I assume that you all remember the 4 points what we discussed in Anubandha Chatushtayam. Adhikari, Vishayah, Sambandha, Prayojanam. So we have dealt with it in detail, and those who missed the classes, they are requested to listen to the previous class recordings. And among the Anubandha Chatushtayam, there are nothing further to discuss on. Vishaya, Prayojanam, and Sambandha. These three things, what we should know with respect to Vedanta, we have discussed, in fact, elaborately. But the discussion of the topic of Adhikari, it is not complete. I mentioned Adhikari. Adhikari means a qualified person, a qualified person, a qualified candidate, and he must have interest and commitment, and also must have gained some experiences with regard to the limitation of the objects of enjoyment, either of this world or the other world. And also, I would have mentioned certain qualities like Amanittam, Adambittam, Ahimsa, and all other qualities which Bhagavan Krishna himself has mentioned in the Gita. So they are all required as a part of the Adhikari. Only that much we would have discussed. But in our Shastram, it is dealt with in great detail. In fact, in 13th chapter, Bhagavan Krishna deals with that in detail. But in our Shastram, any text you take, before you study any text, the first topic of discussion will be this topic. That is the qualities which are expected from an Adhikari. And those qualities are called Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampattihi. You can see that in the screen. Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampattihi. Many of you who have attended my Tattvavada class they may know this, the term Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. And for others, those who are new, for them, for the sake of come, I will explain what it is. Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. The qualities which are required on the part of the Adhikari, they are put together, they are called Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. Sadhanam. Sadhanam means means. Sadhana means means only. The means which are required to accomplish a certain thing. That is sadhanam. Sadhyate anena iti sadhanam. That by which something is accomplished. That with which the help of something is accomplished. That is called sadhanam. Chatushtayam means four. Sampatti. Sampatti means wealth. So, therefore, sadhana chatushtaya sampattihi means fourfold wealth. Fourfold wealth. You can remember all these fourfold. Fourfold anubandha chatushtayam and now fourfold sampatti. These fourfold wealth is what required for an adhikari. For whom it is required? For an adhikari. And where do you get this wealth? Do you gain it from the external world, like the money? This wealth is not like the wealth in the materialistic sense, but it is called wealth, sampatti, because as with material wealth you become rich, so too with these wealth you become spiritually rich. Therefore, it is called wealth, sampatti. Fourfold inner wealth, the wealth which helps you to grow spiritually. They have spiritual qualities and therefore inner wealth, and that is called sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. This wealth is required for the attainment of knowledge which makes you free, and therefore it has to be earned. How to earn this wealth? What should we do to earn this wealth? For this, the Shastram recommends that you give up kamya karmas. You give up kamya karma. That is the actions which are intended for the enjoyment of external pleasures with your sense organs. You give up that kamya karma. And also to avoid nishiddha karma, that is the actions which are scripturally prohibited. Shastram, which forbids you to do certain actions. Those actions are called nishiddha karma. So don't do those forbidden actions. Never violate the order, the harmony of creation by doing such actions. Don't do what is not to be done, even though it gives you pleasure. Suram na pibet. Don't drink alcohol. Mansam na bhakshayet. Don't eat meat. These are some rules, some prohibited actions. Why prohibited? Because it doesn't help you to grow spiritually as well as materially. Not only the result of those actions, it harms you, it also damages the family and the society. Therefore, they are nishiddha. And nishiddha karma brings papam, and therefore one must avoid. Because papam will not be conducive for your spiritual growth. Therefore, it should be avoided. Therefore, giving up kami karmas and refraining from nishiddha karma. You have to give up the actions which are intended for accomplishing the desires which are meant for enjoying the sense objects of the world with the sense organs, those kamya karmas, and also you refrain from doing nishiddha karma. We have discussed this before. Adhikari tu kamya nishiddha varjana purassaram nitya naimittika prayasita upasana anushtanena nirgata atila kalmashataya nitanta nirmalasvantaha iti. That is, an adhikari is one who has destroyed this akila kalmasha. Akila nirgata akila kalmashataya. This is the definition given in the Vedanta Sara, who is an adhikari. Where the author mentions adhikari is one who has destroyed his kalmasha. Kalmasha means impurities. And impurities are defects, dosha. And impurities are called malam. Therefore, they are dosha. And kalmasha means impurities, mala dosha. That is impurities of the mind. And these the impurities of the mind, mental impurities, can be classified into six: kama, krodha, lobha, moga, mada, matsarya. Shat ripuhu. These shat ripuhu are the mental impurities. Kama means desire. Not any desire, illegitimate desires. Kama. Krodha. Krodha means anger. Lobha. Lobha is greed. Wanting more than what we require. Moha. It is lobha. Moha means wrong thinking. Delusion. Moha. Mada. Mada is pride, arrogance. Matsarya. Matsarya means jealousy. Jealousy which is born of complex, inferiority complex and comparison. So an adhikari is one who has destroyed these mental impurities, these kalmashas. Akila kalmasha. He has managed well the restlessness of the mind. That is, the restlessness of the mind is called vikshepa. That is also a dosha. It's a defect. Extreme extrovertedness, that is the tendency of the mind always going out and getting disturbed, this is called vikshepa. That vikshepa is also a dosha, defect. And how does the adhikari handle this? The adhikari, he destroys or he keeps in check the mental impurities and manages his mind by doing his nitya karma. By doing his nitya karma, his daily duties, and also naimittika karma, that is obligatory, occasional duties, and also by avoiding kamya karma, the actions which are prompted by this, and not doing actions which are prohibited, Siddha karma, and also by doing certain prayashitta karma, that is purificatory actions, and by upasana, dhyana, meditations. By doing and following such rules regarding action, the sampatti, the inner wealth, which is already there in the person, it manifests. That which was obstructed, that which was covered, when the obstacles, when the pratibandhas are removed, it manifests. As the water is covered by a thick moss, and when you remove it, you see the clean water. Similarly, when these impurities are destroyed by prescribed actions of the Shastram, then the beauty, the wealth, which is already there, it manifests. That is what Vedanta also says. Vedanta says that what we are seeking in life is already what we are. Our effort lies only in removing the pratibandha. Therefore, to lead an intelligent life, what we need to do is we have to shift the direction of effort from outside to inside. So our effort needs a clear direction. Therefore, we need to acquire these sampatti, sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, which is already within us, that we need to discover that. So these actions by which what we gain, what we acquire is we discover the inner wealth, that sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, or we earn it all. We can say earn it because since it is covered by a lot of the obstacles, since it is covered, it is not visible. Therefore, removal of those obstacles in one way, it is nothing but the gaining. In that way also we can use the word attainment of sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. It's not literally attaining, it is there already in us. Since it is covered by many pratibandhas, therefore we say we have to discover the sampatti which is already in us. And now, what are those sadhana chatushtaya sampatti? What are those wealth? The first one is viveka, vivekaha. The second one, vairagyam. The third one, shamadhi shatka sampattihi. And finally, mumukshutva. We have discussed in detail in Tattvabodha. Those who have attended can recollect. For the sake of others, I will explain it briefly, because this topic is very important, and therefore we can listen to it again and again. As I told before, nobody is a perfect adhikari. Adhikari is the continuous development of oneself. By listening to Shastram again and again, punapuna Shastra Shravanena, this adhikaritum can be enhanced. So therefore, I will deal with this topic briefly. So now these four qualities, four sampatti, viveka, vairagya, samadhi-shakka sampatti, and mumukshutva. I'll give the English translations of these words. Viveka, first quality, first sampatti. Viveka means discrimination. We will see in detail later what it means. The simple meaning of viveka is discrimination. Vairagyam. Vairagyam means dispassion. Shamadhi shatka sampatti means shama, dhamma, etc. Starting from shama, dhamma. Shatka means 6, Shatkam. And therefore, there are 6 disciplines starting with Shama and Dama. That is the meaning. What is Shama and what is Dama? That we will see later. The last quality is Mumukshutvam. Mumukshutvam is the desire for moksha, liberation, freedom. So these are the 4 qualities which are called Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. Here, one point I would like to mention. You don't come across this word Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti in our Shastram directly. If you have studied other Prakarana Grantha you will find, other Upanishads and other texts, you will not come across this word directly. But in the tradition, in a Sampradaya, they have gathered this information from different places and from different statements of the Upanishad, and they call it by the name Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. Upanishad will not mention these qualities explicitly and say these are Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti. Upanishad will not do. But the great acharyas who have come in our tradition, they know the Tatparya of the Upanishads, and they know what Upanishads mentions through certain words. They know that through certain words it describes certain qualities. And from different Upanishads, from different places, they gathered all this information and put together in the form of a Chatushtayam. That is called Sadhana Chatushtaya. Therefore, they understood from the different Upanishads what it mentions, and the qualities which are required on the part of the Adhikari is this Sadhana Chatushtaya. For this, such a person only, the Jnanam will fructify. So that idea they gathered from the different statements. And for the sake of the person who are new to the Vedanta, the Prakarana Granthas, they mentioned explicitly and discussed in great detail. That is what we did in Tattvabodha. You will find the detailed discussion of Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti in Tattvabodha, Viveka Chudamani, in Vedanta Sara, in Sarva Vedanta Sara Sangraha, and also many other texts you will find that would have been discussed in great detail. Even while commenting the first sutra of Brahma Sutra, Tathato Brahma Jignasa, that is the first sutra. If you take the sutra, Ataha Brahma Jignasa, that is the first sutra. The meaning of the first word, Atha, the meaning of the very first word, Atha, Acharya Bhagavad, he explains the meaning of the first word Atha as Sadhana Chatushtaya Anantaram. That is the meaning. After accomplishing Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, one should inquire into the Brahma Vichara. For the word Atha, he gives a meaning of Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti Anantaram. And Acharya has written many pages commentaries on this Atha. And for the commentary of Acharya, there are many sub-commentaries available. And for the sub-commentaries, there are sub-commentaries available. Therefore, you can imagine how much the discussion on this as is available in our tradition. Therefore, you can understand the importance given to this Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti discussion. Therefore, it is worth discussing and reminding it for ourselves many times. And this Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, that each qualifications of the Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampatti, it can be dealt with based on five-fold criterion. Based on five-fold criterion. This is the first time I'm introducing this. It is a bit technical but interesting. That is, the each qualifications of the sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, we will deal with based on this fivefold criteria. What are they? The fivefold criteria are hetu, swarupa, karya, avati, phalam. So each qualification will be dealt based on these five. Hetuhu means cause. Swarupam means the nature. Karya is effect. Effect, or you can call it as an experience. Anubhava. Avati means fulfillment, completion. That is avati. Avatishtati iti avati. That which stays. That is avati. Phalam means result. Now, let us take the first wealth. What is the first wealth, first qualification? What is that? Viveka. That is discrimination. And what is discrimination? Discrimination, when we say there should be two things to discriminate, at least we need two things minimum to discriminate, to distinguish. Therefore, we define viveka as nitya vastu vivekaha. Nitya anitya vastu vivekaha. Nitya anitya vastu vivechanam. That is the discrimination between the nitya vastu and the anitya vastu. Nitya vastu, nitya means permanent. Vastu means the things or object. Discrimination between the permanent things and the impermanent things. That which is always there, that is nitya. That which is always there is nitya, permanent. Therefore, nitya vastu, it is not subject to time. That is why it is called nitya. Kale tishtati. That is nitya. That which is there in all the three periods of time, past, present, and in the future. That is nitya. It means that nitya means that which is free from the limitations of time. Therefore, it is absolute, infinite, limitless. When you say it is free from the limitations of time, it is free from the limitations of space also. Therefore, it is limitless, infinite. Anityam is that which is subject to limitations of time. And therefore, it is not permanent. And therefore, it comes in time and disappears in time. Time has control over it. So therefore, that which is subject to time is anityam. That which is subject to time must also be subject to space. Therefore, impermanent things, they must have a place of origin, birth, and they must have a time of birth also. That is why we all have a place of birth and the time of birth. Since we all have a place and time of birth, we must also have a place of disappearance and time of. It means, as a body, we are all temporary, finite. All the things in the Jagat, they come under the control of time and therefore space, and therefore they are anityam. Any sukham or dukkham, what they experience, they are anityam because they all have a time of birth and place also, and therefore they are subject to disappearance, death. Yes, therefore they are anityam. And vastu means objects. So between nitya vastu and anitya vastu, what is required? vivechanam. We have to distinctly understand the difference. Why should we distinctly understand? Why should we do viveka? Why should we discriminate between nitya and anitya vastu? Because our problem is that we mix up these two and mistake one thing for the other. Therefore, we have to do discrimination. We have to discriminate. We have seen that before, as Atma, you are limitless. You are whole, you are complete, you are free. But confined to body, mind, sense complex, we mistake ourselves to be Anatma. As Atma, I am free, I am complete, Aham Purnaha. But I take myself to be this body, mind, sense complex. They are not Atma, they are Anatma. So I take myself to be this Anatma because of my Deha Abhimana. And because there is a mix-up between Atma and Anatma, we have to distinguish, we have to discriminate. We need to do the Vivechanam. That is why we need Viveka. So Viveka is distinguishing and understanding what is Nitya and what is Anitya. Suppose there is a red hot iron ball, Tapta Ayas Pindaha. Suppose a red hot iron ball is there. You see the red hot iron ball. Then you say that it is red hot iron ball. You see the fire in the form of a round shape. But how can fire be round? Fire doesn't have shape, but you see fire in round shape. And you mistake the fire which has no form, which has no weight, it to be round. The form and the weight of the fire, it belongs to the ball, not to the fire. So you distinguish the fire and the ball, and you know because of the ball, the fire looks round. So you do some viveka and you understand the fire and the ball distinctly. So viveka, that is called viveka. So viveka is required to understand the things distinctly, separately. So here also the same thing. Because there is a confusion between the Nitya Vastu and Anitya Vastu, we need to understand them distinctly. Because of that, Nitya Vastu is taken as Anitya Vastu, and Anitya Vastu is taken as Nitya Vastu. That is, Atma is taken to be Anatma, and Anatma is taken to be Atma. And therefore, by Vichara, by inquiry of what is Nitya Vastu and what is Anitya Vastu, we have to gain the distinct understanding of the two. That is called Viveka. Nitya Anitya Vastu Vivekaha. Therefore, Viveka means distinction, separation, discrimination. That is the meaning. And to discriminate, what you need a subtle mind, Sukshma Buddhi, subtle understanding. If you don't have Sukshma Buddhi, subtle understanding of the things, everything will appear same for you, and you will not be able to discriminate. Therefore, Buddhi is important, and the Buddhi should be Sukshma. It should be able to penetrate into the nature of the things and understand. And one of the Prakana Grantha, Vedanta Sara, it describes Viveka as Nityanistya Vastu Vivekaha Tavat Brahmaiva Nityam Vastu Tataha Anyat Ilam Anyat Iti Vivechanam. It says what? That is, Brahman alone is Nitya Vastu, and everything else is Anityam. This Vivechanam is called Viveka. It is Brahman, not Brahma. Brahma means Brahmaji, Chaturmukha Brahma. We are not talking about the fourth-faced Brahmaji. Chaturmukha Brahma. We are talking about Brahman. Brahmaiva Nityam. Brahma eva Nityam. It is Nitya Vastu. That Brahman is limitless, complete. With or without the creation, Brahman is complete. And what is Brahman? I use the word Brahman now. It is introduced now. We'll see what it is. From the standpoint of the created universe, the Brahman is called Brahmaji, Chaturmukha Brahma. From the standpoint of sustaining the universe, the same Brahman is called Vishnu. He is the sustainer. And from the standpoint of the total dissolution of the universe, the Brahman is called Rudra or Shiva. So Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. They are with forms. This Trimurti, they have got forms, and therefore they are called Saguna Brahma. They are called Saguna Brahma. With form, it is called Saguna Brahma. And without form, it is called Nirguna Brahma. With or without form, therefore it is nothing Brahman. It is Brahman is limitless, complete. Brahman means limitless. Limitlessness, that is called Brahman. Therefore, from the total standpoint, it is called Brahman, the consciousness. From the individual standpoint, it is called Atma. Therefore, if Atma is consciousness, that is you, then Brahman is also consciousness. Atma is from the individual standpoint. That is from the standpoint of your body, mind, sense complex. Atma is you, the consciousness. And from the collective standpoint, that is from the total standpoint of the Jagat, the world, the universe, what is available for your perception, it is called Brahman. From the standpoint of the universe, that is called Brahman. And that Brahman is Nitya Vastu. And everything else is Anityam. So, understanding that Brahman is Nityam, Sarvam Anyat Anityam, this distinguishing between the Nitya Vastu and Anitya Vastu, that is called Viveka. And that Viveka is the first important qualification required. Now, you may ask, how a person without having any knowledge of Brahman can do Viveka? How can he do discriminative inquiry? First, you should know the Nitya Vastu, Brahman. Then only you can do the Viveka. You should know the Nitya Vastu, Brahman, and you should know Anitya Vastu. Anitya Vastu probably by experience you will come to know. But how do we know these two? Only when we know these two, we should have minimum two, then only we can discriminate. We can do Viveka. Then how do we do it? How do we know and how do we do it? If you come in the Sampradaya, the tradition, definitely you will be knowing Brahman. Every day when you chant the Vedic mantras, the Vedic mantra, and you would have studied many Vedas, many texts on the teaching of Vedas, Puranas, and so many things. You would have been exposed to the Vedas and the texts on the teaching of Vedas and other various Shastram available in our tradition. From those things, you would have gained the knowledge about the impermanence of the Jagat. In fact, you would have gained the knowledge that even Swarga is not Nitya. That knowledge you must have got because you are exposed to the tradition. You come under the tradition and therefore you know it. If everything is impermanent, then naturally you will ask. Naturally your inquiry will be, is there anything permanent at all? Is there anything which is Nityam? Therefore, by study and by exposure to our sampradaya and also having continuous satsang with the Vriddha Purusha, the senior people in the tradition, you will come across the word Brahman. You will come across the permanency of Brahman. In fact, in everyday Sandhya Vandanam, we say Asavadityo Brahma, Brahmaiva Satyam, Brahmaiva Agamasmi. As a brahmachari or as even a Grihastha or Vanapastha, the person when he does Sandhya Vandanam, he says this every day. As a part of this everyday Sandhya Upasana, he does this Atma Anusandhana. Asavadityo Brahma. Brahma is there. Therefore, Brahman is not something unknown. Brahman is known. And Brahman means limitless. How does it mean limitless? The word Brahman, it is derived from the root Brihi Vriddhau. So when you form the noun from the verbal root, the Dhatu, you get the word Brahman. It means big. Big means limitlessly big. That limitlessness, that is called big. It means there cannot be anything bigger than that. It is biggest. Even you can't use the word biggest. Therefore, limitlessly, that is big. It is Vriddhatamam. It is limitless. Why it is limitless? Because it is not subject to time, it is not subject to place, and that which is the cause of the entire Jagat, and without the Jagat which is there forever, and that therefore it is Brahman. Now let us analyze how does anything become limited? How does anything become limited, and why, and how Brahman is not. Any limitations, if you take any limitations, they are caused by desha, that is the place, and time. Wherever space is there, that is the place or the space is there, the time will be there. And where time is, place will be. So everything is subject to desha, kala, vastu, time, place, and objects. A thing can be limited by its location. A thing, when it is located at one place, it is not located at another place. Therefore, an object or a thing is limited. When it is available at a particular time and when it is not available at that time, there is a limitation in terms of time. When there are two objects, one object limits the other. Therefore, desha kala vastu parichinnaha. That is, limitations are caused by the desha kala. In fact, all the elements out of which the whole Jagat has come, that Pancha Bhuta. First, let us take the four Bhutas, the four basic elements. What are that? Agni, Vayu, Prithvi, Apaha. They are also limited in space and time. Agni is not all pervasive. Agni is not sarva-vyapi. Vayu is also not all pervasive. You may see Vayu here on the earth, but when you go up, you need oxygen. Without oxygen, you won't be able to survive. Air is not there. So Vayu is not sarva-vyapi. And Prithvi, that is also limited. That is why we have fight over limited land. The war between the two countries is because of this Prithvi, the land, because it is limited. And what about space? Finally, space. The four elements, Agni, Vayu, Prithvi, Apaha. Apaha is also limited. That we know. That's very clear. Water also is limited. So Agni, Vayu, Prithvi, Apaha, these four elements are limited in terms of time and in terms of place. But what about the fifth element, Akasha? Akasha seems to be all pervasive. Therefore, it should be unlimited. No. Akasha, I didn't mention, and now I mentioned because though we may think that Akasha is all pervasive, and therefore we may think it is limitless, And therefore you may think it must be Brahman, but it is not. Akasha is also limited in terms of limited in terms of time, because Akasha is also created. Akasha is also a part of the creation of the Jagat. For any creation to happen, there must be space, and therefore the space must be the first creation. Space must be created first. That is why in Taittiriya Upanishad we chant Akashat Vayu Ragnihi Agne Rapaha Apah Prithvi Iti. So the first is Akasha is first created from Brahman. So therefore, space also being created, and it has a beginning in time, therefore it must have an end. Therefore it cannot be Nityam. When it is not Nityam, it cannot be Brahman. It cannot be limitless. Therefore, whatever we know, whatever you count as that what you know, it cannot be Brahman. Because everything being created, everything being subject to time and place, it is not Brahman. And Brahman is not created. And Brahman is beginningless. And it is one only, Ekam. And therefore it is Nityam. So, by the study of Shastram and coming across such statements of the Shastram, you come to know, you come to gain the Paroksha Jnanam of Brahman. You come to know that there is Nitya Vastu called Brahman. And to get this Paroksha Jnanam of Brahman, this Paroksha Jnana, that is, you gain from the study of Shastram and from the discussion and the satsang of the senior people in the tradition, you come to have the Paroksha Jnanam of Brahman. And for that Jnanam even to happen, you need a lot of grace. Because of some Punya Karma, what you have done in the previous Karma, and you have got now certain mental disposition and purity, which becomes the cause, which becomes the hetu to have this Paroksha Jnanam of Brahman. And also to arrive at the analysis, the vichara of Nitya Anitya Vastu. And therefore, what is the hetu? What is the cause? The hetu for Viveka, this Nitya Anitya Vastu Viveka, is Ishvara Anugraham and Purva Krita Punyam, or Ishvara Anugraham in the form of Purva Krita Punyam. That is the hetu. That is the cause. So, the first wealth, that is Viveka, from the standpoint of hetu, cause, what is the cause? Ishvara Anugraham, or Purva Krita Punyam. That is Ishvara Anugraham in the form of Purva Krita Punyam, that is the cause. That is required to do, discriminative inquiry. To have the knowledge of Viveka, we need that hetu. That is the first criterion. Then the second one, that is Swarupa of Viveka. The Swarupa of this Viveka is Brahman alone is Nityam. It is truth. Everything else is Anityam. Brahma eva Satyam, Anyata Sarvam Anitya. That is the nature of this discriminative inquiry. That is the second criteria. And the third criteria is Karya. Karya is the effect. Based on your life experiences, you get clear knowledge. Everything which has a beginning, Arambha, it must have an end. Why? Because they are all subject to time, place, and objects. And therefore, all the lokas, you can imagine, any loka, sapta loka which are above, and the 6 loka which are down, any loka you imagine, they are going to be impermanent. Because that loka, when you say loka, means it involves travel, and therefore subject to time, and it involves the certain experiences, and it is not going to be permanent. It comes and goes. So therefore, they all have limitations. That is why even the Mundaka Upanishads, it also says, Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmanaha nirdedam ayat. Pariksha lokan, having examined the experiences of this world. Lokan means this world, and also we can take the experience of the other world. Based on our thinking, we can come to the conclusion the experience of this world as well as the other world. Other world means that including Swarga, which is supposed to be the destination point for many people. That is why they do all the rituals, yaga and rituals. They are all limited. Why? Because they are all born of action. You do certain karma to reach those worlds, and actions are limited. And limited actions, since actions are limited, and by limited actions, how can you gain something which is unlimited? So this is the effect. This is the experience. The experience is anything that is anitya vastu or subject to time, place, and situation, and therefore they are impermanent. Nitya vastu is permanent, and this is the experience, and this is called karyam. Karyam or the anubhava. You can say it as a anubhava. Then comes the next criteria. That is avatihi. Avatihi means avatishtati. That is, you come to the conclusion, the firm conclusion. You stay here. After returning, you stay at this conclusion. What is that? You become so convinced that after analysis, you come to this conclusion that any amount of arguments regarding this nitya vastu and anitya vastu, the understanding of the difference between the two, it cannot shake your firm stand that Brahman alone is nityam and everything else is anityam. And that is called avati. And this, the conviction is not because of your adamancy, it is because of clear understanding. The clear vision of yours, your experience, that makes you conclude, that makes you get a standpoint. What is that? Brahman is nityam, that can only be nityam, and everything other than Brahman is nityam. And that is called avatihi. Then finally comes the criteria, phalam. Phalam means result. What do I get out of this viveka vichara, discriminative inquiry? What do you get? Vairagyam. Vairagyam is what you gain out of this viveka vichara. That is, vairagyam is dispassion for the anitya vastu. That is the result of viveka. Therefore, vairagyam is born out of viveka. Now you grow from viveka to vairagya. First, you do the discriminative inquiry between the two vastu, that is Brahman and other than Brahman, and you very well know now Brahman is nityam, everything else is nityam. Now, what will be your next step? You will grow, or you will start towards nitya vastu. It means you will move away from anitya vastu. That is called dispassion. Moving away, dispassion for the anitya vastu, that is the outcome of the discriminative inquiry. That is the next topic of sadhana, chatushtaya sampatti, that we will take up for discussion in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Thank you, Sharanji.
Thank you, Ji.